I know you guys are pretty bored. Even I was bored. I saw a few people dozing off, but that's fine. So what I'm gonna do so that you don't doze off is I'm gonna pick and ask questions around people who are dozing off. So you have to be attentive. Okay, can you guys hear me loud and clear? Or okay. Good afternoon, everybody. We have already passed 12. I know the lunch is waiting. Everybody's hungry, including myself. Thanks, Guru, for the wonderful session. Now, I know you guys are pretty bored. Even I was bored. I saw a few people dozing off, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do so that you don't doze off is I'm going to pick and ask questions around people who are dozing off. So, you have to be attentive.
Best session.
And I'm going to touch very basic stuff, not very complex like Vikas. Where is Vikas? Supervisory cluster, this cluster, you click here, 3 configurations, 4 configurations gets created. It's pretty basic stuff, vSphere, right? As Jatin mentioned, everybody knows vSphere, right? Anybody doesn't know vSphere? Okay, everybody knows, good. So vSphere Plus is nothing but a consumption model for subscription, because VMware is doing that greater shift that everybody has already done it. If you talk about Microsoft, you talk about Adobe, talk about Atlassian, everybody has moved from perpetual licensing to subscription model. That's what VMware is trying to do. Plus, there are a bunch of benefits that we're going to talk and see about, and how everything works in vSphere Plus, how you can achieve it, or how you can enable your environment to vSphere Plus. Okay. So from the agenda perspective, I'm going to touch a few things on marketing, market overview. I know pretty much everybody's technical. I know the VMware group is very technical. And then we're going to talk about what vSphere Plus value proposition provides, followed by a demo. I'm sure everybody's interested in demo. And then we can have Q&A. Now, just before we do that, I saw Vikas presented a very nice slide talking about himself. Even I wanted to do it, but we have already submitted the slide to Jatin. So I hardly find any time to edit it. So about myself, my name is Ajay Sharma. I've been with VMware for past 11 years, as Vikas is. I joined in October 2011. So, and I've been working with multiple teams. I was part of GSS initially. I supported customers. I see one of my colleagues here, Vineet Patil, sitting here, who was part of GSS as well. Yeah. And then I moved to QE. I was doing testing for vSphere upgrades and stuff like that. And we started working very closely with PMs. That's when I got interested into PM role. And, I was ready to take on the challenges. So here I am. For past 2 years, I work as a product manager. And I majorly take care of vCenter upgrades and also vSphere Plus. So short bio, but I'll add the cricket and the cycling stuff, maybe next week month. Okay, market overview. So we're not going to deep dive into what market is going through. Everybody knows. There is also a demand of public and private cloud. There's a comparison. How many workloads are running on private? How many workloads are running on public cloud? We all know the advantages of public cloud. We all know there are certain disadvantages of public cloud. That's why we run workloads in private cloud. So there's a report from IDC which talks about how many millions of workloads are going to increase in future. Let's say the 2020, we had like 211 millions in private cloud. And in 2024, it's going to be 273 million. So everybody is moving towards running workloads on premises, hosted, cloud, and things like that. And how VMware is going to contribute to this cloud technology and how enable customers to adopt these cloud technologies. So now there are certain challenges. That's why everybody is moving towards the cloud. Now, what are those challenges that we want to address by going to the cloud environment, right? Right now, if you see your environment is pretty scattered. How many of you work for MNCs who have data centers in many other cities apart from Pune, Mumbai, or Bangalore? Show of hands. Right? So I see a lot of people who has data centers across cities, across countries. Now, if you want to manage, you have to log into each data center, each vCenter server, and then try to see what's happening. If you want to create a VM, you have to log into each individual vCenter server. We're going to address those challenges. Plus, there are some challenges in terms of adoption, go-to-market strategies where developers try to create applications, but he's not familiar with the applications that he's running. I want to develop Kubernetes, but I have a virtual machine environment. So how we can accelerate time to market those applications, we're going to see. And then flexible consumption, right? So a lot of people have seen that on demand, we create environments, right? Whenever you are running short on, let's say, data center that you own it on premises, but you want to expand, it's not so easy. You have to purchase the hardware, you have to procure. There's a huge process that goes in the background, maybe 3 to 6 months, and then you get the consumption model that you can consume. All these challenges we can overcome. Now, before we go here, how many of you can tell me the benefits of public cloud? Chorus answer is fine.
As you go.
Pay as you go, yes. What else? Sorry?
Scalability.
Scalability, yes, yes. With clouds, you can scale anywhere, anytime, right? You don't have to procure hardware on demand.
Financial model, OpEx, CapEx versus OpEx.
Yes, operational cost, not a CapEx model. So you don't have to pay the entire amount upfront for procuring hardware. You just pay whatever you use it. What else?
Empower the end user, flexibility.
Yes, flexibility.
Agility.
Agility, yes. Any more things that comes to your mind?
Availability.
Cloud as a disaster recovery.
Yes, yes. I see a lot of people are awake now. So let's see. Hyperscaling, right? Hyperscaling means you expand on demand, where you can have huge data centers in seconds and minutes up and running. Flexible consumption. Somebody said about flexible consumption, which means I can only pay, or I will only pay for the amount that I'm consuming, right? Built-in resiliency. Who can tell me what is built-in resiliency? Anyone? What does resiliency means? Come on, all are IT folks, right?
I will
Single point of
then,
failure.
the load balancer and all those things in terms of multiple zones.
They have different availability zones.
Yeah, so resiliency means how high available your application is or how fast you can recover from failures, right? Then we have, you can access it from anywhere, which means you don't need to come to office to access the environment. If you have authentication, if you have VPN connected, you can access from home or anywhere. Developer agility. What is developer agility? Anyone?
PaaS service nowadays offering they are giving this DevOps kind of integration.
Correct. So developers agility means developers can directly access and consume the infrastructure that is available to build their applications. They don't have to create or talk to VI admin that I need some resources. Can you provide me that? Minimal maintenance. If it is a cloud service, you don't have to maintain the hardware, do patching, upgrading, and things like that, right? It's automatically done. Now, these are the advantages or set of benefits that we can get from public cloud or any cloud, right? What are the advantages of being on premises? Anyone?
Security.
Yes, you have control.
Overcommit.
Overcommit, you can put a cap. Yes.
Security.
Data security. Sorry?
Data privacy and security.
Yes, privacy and security. What else? I got still 4. I know we have a bunch of capabilities on premises. Any more?
Cost.
So data privacy, which means you have full control on data. Data security, which means your data is within your data center. Nobody can come in or go out. What is data sovereignty? Anyone can talk about data sovereignty?
And destroy data.
From the audit perspective,
Data sovereignty means keeping your data within your country boundaries, which is as per the compliance or government regulations, right? High performance, which means you can monitor, optimize, and do a lot of stuff because it is in your control. Low latency because running your stuff locally. And predictable cost, which means you know how much capex it's going to cost to put me additional data centers and things like that. So we know that public cloud offers certain benefit. We know that there's a bunch of advantages when it comes to on-premises. Now, how about, so before that, how many of you are running only on-premises and don't have any access to cloud or doesn't use cloud anymore? Show of hands. Okay, I mean, it's no shame, guys, you can raise it. So the point that I wanted to make is there are a bunch of benefits on the cloud that I can get it to on-premises. If you're not using cloud, if you're not consuming cloud, I can get the cloud to your on-premises. I'll show you how. It comes with flexible consumption, which means you can increase the capacity whenever you need it. There is minimal maintenance, which means all the maintenance that you do for on-premises servers, we can take care of it. How? I'll show you. It will have a built-in resiliency, which means you can recover from service failures quickly. And also you can manage it from anywhere. And vSphere Plus comes with TKG inbuilt as it is included in the price. So if you subscribe for vSphere Plus, you'll get the TKG environment, which will help your developers to build any kind of workloads. So let's talk about vSphere Plus quickly. So as I said, right? So vSphere Plus gives you a bunch of capabilities, like administrative capabilities are supercharged productive. It will also help your developers to have your TKG environment up and running, and it can transform your existing on-premises, which means nothing has to be changed on-premises. You can still have cloud access. Right now, the question is, if I continue to run on-premises, how can I have cloud access, right? So this is your existing environment, which means the data center, wherein here there are ESXi at the bottom. And on top of that, we have vCenter, which manages those ESXi. And you can run your traditional applications, modern applications, AI, ML, workloads, bare metal, everything that you want, you are running it right now, right? Now, let's say I give you some added benefits on top of your existing vSphere environment, which will still continue to run on-premises. Nothing changes from that perspective. What we are doing is just pushing certain services from cloud to your on-premises data center. So what we are providing admin services. Admin services can be, let's say there is a VI admin who does patching, upgrading, those things, right? Managing the VMs, creating virtual machines. Those services I am providing from cloud. I am providing DevOps services from the cloud, which means once you subscribe for vSphere Plus, you get TKG free, which means the developers can use your Tanzu Kubernetes to develop their applications. There are add-on services. Your add-on services includes your vCenter server upgrade. How many of you have done vCenter upgrade in recent past, like 6 months back? How much time it took on an average? Just on an average per vCenter server.
I'm upgrading from 6.5 to 7, like 6.5 to 6.7 and then 7.
Okay.
But like our PSCs were like messed up, like old entries were still there. So it's still ongoing. I do have a case also with currently.
Okay, that's great.
Like the old entries which were like removed, like old PSCs, what we converged, right? So those entries are still there. So it's a complicated case. So it
is complicated, yes.
About a week has been passed.
Excellent. Anyone else who did last, VC upgrade took like 40 minutes, 30 minutes,
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Good. 45 minutes, right?
1 hour.
1 hour. Excellent. What if I say that the same vCenter upgrade can be upgraded in 3 minutes or 5 minutes?
Oh.
Would it sound exciting? Excellent.
Yes.
So the total downtime, if you do it via cloud or vSphere Plus, the total downtime is somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes, which means your VC will be unavailable for 3 to 5 minutes. We are further working on improving it to 30 seconds and making it completely non-disruptive service for vCenter upgrade. That's going to come in here.
Database replication for the vCenter.
Sorry?
Database replication.
For?
Question is, what about database application for the vCenter?
We'll come to that. So I'm just touching upon services, but we'll talk how we are doing it once I show the demo. Okay. So add-on service includes upgrade of vCenter servers. We are also working on upgrading the ESXi, managing the life cycle from the cloud. That is going to help a lot of people because we are taking care of the BIOS, firmware, and ESXi upgrade. You don't have to do anything. When I say add-on services for vCenter, there's one-click upgrade available for vCenter server. And we'll see in demo how do we do with that one-click upgrade of vCenter server. So basically nothing changes on premises. You have the cloud connectivity and we push a bunch of services from the cloud. And this is just the beginning. We are going to add some more services, what we are pushing or the functionality that will make it available from the cloud. Now, how many? So we already discussed about people having data centers in multiple other regions. And if you want to do an operation on one physical server or a virtual server or a vCenter server, you have to log into that vCenter server, access it. Let's say I want to create a VM on one particular VC, you have to log into that VC and do stuff, right? And if you want to do some stuff on another VC, you have to log into that VC and perform those operations. But let's say I'm providing a single pane of glass where you can not just connect 1, 2, 3 or 4 vCenter servers, you can connect 200, 300 vCenter servers and still view in a single pane of glass. So right now, how many of you are using embedded link mode? Anyone?
Enhanced link.
Enhanced link mode. How many VCs can you connect it?
We have two.
Okay.
Like, but 5 also I have seen in one of the case.
Yeah, the total vCenters that you can connect to each other are 14 in embedded or enhanced link mode. But here we are connecting around 200 vCenter servers, and you can see all VCs in a single pane of glass. So if your environment is scattered across the globe, you can have a single pane of glass and see all the VCs in one console. So you don't have to log into each VCs and do stuff. In a single vCenter servers, you can do VM creation. You can see alert and monitorings and things like that. Automate the routine maintenance. As we touched upon, vCenter upgrade will be very easy and the downtime will be about 3 to 5 minutes. And you can do it from the cloud. We'll also have some monitoring available, which is powered by VROps. So once you connect to vSphere Plus, all your vCenter or environment will be consolidated into a single pane of glass, and it will show you top 5 or 10 alerts from across the environment. You don't have to log into each VC, see what alert is going on, and then remediate. You can just log into the cloud console, see all the alerts into a single pane of glass, and remediate it. So this is how it looks like. I mean, this is the dark theme, but there is a lighter theme, which is quite visible. So you can see inventory, both vCenters are connected. I have 2 vCenter servers. It'll also show you how much CPU, memory, and storage utilization I have done so far. So it will provide a centralized view of all the inventory or the complete environment. Now, creating modern application or modern app platform. So right now, if you're just using virtual machines with vSphere Enterprise license, TKG comes built in with this vSphere Plus. It will also provide you a platform to run your Kubernetes workload. And you can manage large-scale deployments across your environment from a single pane of glass. Now, I've been talking about single pane of glass and things like that. I really want to get to the demo and show you guys how it is done, but let's see how it is done before that, right? So how you can convert your existing model to a subscription model and start consuming vSphere Plus. So there is certain criteria or prerequisites because there are bits and pieces that we put in to support this entire thing. So you have to be at minimum vSphere 7 U3G version to start consuming the subscription model, and we can push on the admin services from there. So once you have that in place, you don't have to do anything. Just subscribe, click convert, and your subscription is ready. That's all we have to do. Now, there's a bunch of stuff that is involved in this entire process. We'll talk when we do the demo. This is just the recap of what we already said. Single pane of glass, which provides admin services, accelerated innovation, because we provide tons of Kubernetes grid, so your environment is, Kubernetes ready, and you can transform your existing on-premises into a cloud provided service. So I'll have to click on the demo. So let me take a seat and feel. So far, any question, any doubts? Yes, no, people understand? Okay. Now, how do you connect to the cloud, right? You have your on-premises setup ready, and there is a cloud instance which is running somewhere on the cloud or on any server. We need a gateway appliance, which is a Linux-based appliance, which is same as vCenter appliance. We install that gateway appliance or a proxy server that will help us connect the on-premises vCenter server to the cloud instance. So let me show you how to download and install that appliance and create the connectivity between cloud and on-premises setup. So it is same as Customer Connect portal. You go there, you download, you go to vSphere Plus, go to the downloads. It's called VMware vCenter Cloud Gateway or VMware Cloud Gateway. This is all the normal stuff that we do to download and install any other product that we have in our environment. Once it is downloaded, it is the same installer that we have for vCenter server. I am taking the UI installer from my Jumpbox Windows based. EULA I have accepted. And I am selecting the vCenter server that I have. Let me copy the host name of vCenter server and put it here. Once I do that, provide the credentials for vCenter server. Once you have done that, connect and plain simple installation starts. Everybody has seen this screen?
Yes.
Pretty straightforward. Select the data center where you want to install. You can enable thin disk if you want to. Apply network settings. I can select DHCP here and click next. I can also select my ESXi server for time sync. Now this will deploy this gateway appliance into your on-premises setup. Once the deployment is complete, you can launch and start the connection between or pairing between the cloud and the gateway appliance. So here, once I get to the screen, I can click get started. My cloud gateway services will start. Now the first step that I'm doing is to connect to the cloud. So this connection is not based on any password or authentication that we are passing to the cloud. It is purely based on security-based token. It will run a bunch of pre-checks. Once the pre-check is done, I'm generating a security code that I'm copying, and then I'm launching my cloud console here. Select my org, which will be created and populated for you, and provide that passcode here. So we are not passing any kind of authentication to the cloud. So your authentication and everything remains on premises. We are just connecting to the cloud using a code. The second step is to connect to the vCenter servers that you want to connect to the cloud. You can add as many as 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 vCenter servers. Let me copy the name of VC that I'm running. Once my vCenter is added, I can access my vCenter in cloud. And nothing changes from on-premises perspective. You can still access your H5C client. You can see the complete inventory. You can do all these stuff that you have been doing. So once my vCenters are connected, I can see my VC is connected and communication has started. Now, once the vCenter is connected, I am going to the cloud portal. This is my cloud portal. And in the inventory, I can see all the vCenter servers that are connected to my subscription model. Now, once you connect here, you don't need to manage your perpetual licensing. You can connect this vCenter servers and convert it to subscription. When I say subscription, it is just the consumption model. The subscription works on the core basis, and each core is been the ESXi will have your cores and CPUs, right? So the ESXi cores and CPU is what the subscription model is. You don't have to pay for anything else. Once your ESXi cores are subscribed, you can use any software that you want to run on the vSphere environment. Now I'm selecting my 2 of vCenter servers to connect to subscription. So these 2 are connected to subscription now, and I can use all these services on these 2 vCenter servers. Now, if you click on more details of VC, you can see the CPU, memory utilization, and storage utilization. You can also open the vCenter console from here. If I click here, it will open my H5C client, and I can do stuff, whatever I want to do. You'll not lose access to any of these things. You'll still continue to do stuff as you have been doing. But this will provide you additional space for doing stuff in a single pane of glass. Now, it also gives me, so on the left-hand side, you will see a bunch of items or menu items. You have inventory where all your vCenter inventory is there. You have a subscription tab. from where you can see which vCenter servers you have been subscribed. There is infrastructure operations. This is powered by VROps and shows all the alerts and monitoring data. I'll show you in the demo. And there is a desired state configuration also, just like ESXi host configuration, which my colleague Guru talked. You can extract and desired state configuration or VC config and apply to any vCenter server that you want. So we are right now in the virtual machines tab. Now this will list all the VMs that are connected across all vCenter servers that I have. So let's say I have 200 vCenter servers. This will show the inventory from all 200 vCenter servers, including your Kubernetes workload, not just virtual machines, but any Kubernetes workload that you might have. So let's say this is my supervisory cluster control plane. I can open and see the details about it, where it is running, it is powered on, what is the guest operation, IP addresses, and things like that. So this is our virtual machine, which will have a global inventory for all VMs and Kubernetes workload. Now coming back to inventory of vCenter servers. Now here you see cluster 0, I have created one cluster, and in this cluster, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 virtual machines. Now I'm going to create a VM from this cloud console and it will appear in this cluster. So let's go and see how we can create VMs from a single pane of glass and show it in the vCenter server. So any very unique name that I've given. I can select the vCenter, the data center that where I want to deploy, and let's say the cluster where I want to deploy a virtual machine. Click next. I have no template, so I'm selecting Windows, maybe 10. Select the data stores. If you have enabled vSAN Plus, then you'll be able to see vSAN data stores listed here in this console. Select the networking settings that you want to apply for this VM. Now I have selected and entered all the details. Once I click create VM from my cloud console, you can see this VM is getting created. Once it is created, you can go back to your VC and see that your test VM is created here. So you can create basically virtual machines on any vCenters which are connected to your cloud console. Any questions, any doubts so far?
Can you show us the upgrade, if possible? Sorry? Can you show us the upgrade of
Yes, yes, I am coming to that. So let me show the upgrade. So this is my vCenter server, one of my vCenter servers that are connected. Now, if I click on it, I can see here 3 tabs. One is summary, which we are seeing it right now. There is an event tab, which will show us all the events that is happening across VC. And then there is a maintenance tab. Now, if I click on maintenance tab, because I have subscribed this vCenter server, it will show me any upgrade that is available right now for upgrade. So let's say 8.0 comes in, the 8.0 will be listed here. I can just select that 8.0, click on prerequisites. It will run certain pre-checks to see if your vCenter is capable of upgrading without any disruption. Once all the pre-check have passed, then I can click on update now. Once I click update now, it will show me a warning that I have to take a backup. If you have not taken a backup, once you confirm that you have taken a backup, then you can click on upgrade. Certain checks will be running in the background and your vCenter server will be upgraded. When I say your vCenter server will be upgraded, this process takes some time, but your VC will be only down for 3 to 4 minutes where the service restart is happening from source to the target. The data copy happens in the background. I think somebody asked question about VC database copy, right? So it happens in the background parallelly. So let's say my source VC is here, my target VC is deployed. Now the source VC will continue to serve all the requests that are coming to vCenter server, and the data will be copied in the background. Once the data has been copied and completed in the background, it will tell me to switch over the services from source to the target. That is where the source services are stopped and the target services are started, and the delta is later copied on to the target vCenter server. So the only downtime that we can see is from source to the target when the service gets transitioned. Now, right now it is 3 to 5 minutes. And as I said, we are working on making it 30 seconds for you. So this is as simple as that, right? So you don't have to do anything in terms of provisioning, downloading the ISO, mounting to another VM, starting the process, scheduling downtime window. Whenever you see there is an update available in this console, you can just click on update now. It will do all the prerequisites and upgrade your vCenter server. Similarly, question.
How will role-based access will work here?
Sorry.
Role-based access will work here.
RBAC, okay. RBAC integration is still going on. So once it is there, I can share the details with you.
Single pane, people give access.
Yes. Yeah. So not everybody will have access. Whatever role-based access is applicable for on-premises, same will be applicable here. So that integration is going on. Any more questions, doubt, concerns, security? Anybody has security concerns?
If we are copying database from step 2, if vCenter is big in size, so it will take 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay, so copying for that reason it will not be accessible. If it is accessible, we cannot make any changes in that, right?
All the services will be running from source vCenter server. Any change you want to make, you can do it still. It will be written as a delta to the target VM. So there will be no disruption of service basically. Database will not be logged. So earlier we used to log the database while the migration was going. I think that was your question, right? So we are not logging the database. In the background, we are running certain checks. We have been able to overcome that limitation that we had to log the database so that nobody could modify. Now, any modification that comes in, that goes to the Delta file, and later on it is synced to the target VM.
For each vCenter, we need a
Very interesting question. I was wondering why nobody is asking this question. So a gateway can support up to 8 vCenter servers. We are working on enhancing and making it available for 16 vCenter servers. And it is a stateless device, which means it doesn't store or has any database. So even if it goes bad, you can quickly deploy another gateway. So it doesn't, just like vCenter has database, if database gets corrupted, you have to do a whole lot of bunch of things. But gateway doesn't have any database. It is a stateless device. It will just work seamless. So it has a limitation right now of one gateway can support 8 vCenter servers.
Mentioned about 200 VCs being able to monitor from the same. When you are clicking on this vCenter, it is only hyperlink. At the backend, we are again putting up the credentials right now. So when you clicked on that link vCenter, it was actually an hyperlink only of the vCenter.
No, we are providing you an option to open a new tab H5C client. It was a hyperlink to open H5C client, but if you want to do any operation in the cloud, you don't have to enter any credentials. Yes.
Because looking at the 2 vCenters linked itself is causing clutter now. 200, and that will be huge.
That will be huge in terms of, so you don't have to log into each VC. So the tab that I'm showing, the infrastructure operations, right? Now, if you look at this tab, this will provide you an overview of entire security and events and alerts across your vCenter servers, right? So you don't have to log into each VC to see what is going on. This will list me top 5 security issues, top alerts and monitoring that I can do. I can go to view details and check on any details and see what are the alarming or the host things that we can do, or clear filters and do remediation from here itself.
So coming to plus feature, what is the cost increment? I mean, in percentage wise.
Cost increment.
I mean,
Jatin can tell you. I work on implementing the features. They are the costing guys. So yes.
does it have integration with VCD and VRM?
It has integration with VCDR. Very interesting question. So the virtual machine console that I showed, it also has an option to protect virtual machines in your environment. So you can select the VM that you want to protect, and in background, VCDR protects that VM by taking snapshots. So you can revert back in time any snapshot. So let's say if your VM, today morning you came to the office and you saw your VM is corrupted. If it is into the protected zone, you can recover from the protected zone, the virtual machine.
You mentioned 8 vCenter supported by gateway. So is there any proximity requirement for that? So if you like, we set on different cities.
Huh.
We have gateway in one, so that is the dependence.
Correct. So there is only limitation is the latency between both of these gateway and VC should not be more than 300 milliseconds. Then the performance will be affected basically. You can still go ahead and connect your VCs if it is more than 300 milliseconds, but this will take a second to load, those things, performance issues will come. So we recommend that you connect those VCs and gateways which has less than 300 millisecond latency.
Just for the information for everybody here, what would it take for a 6.x customer or a 7.x customer to avail this service? Do they need to be on 8 or?
Good question. I thought you were asking for lunch. So we still have So as I said, right, on premises, nothing changes. You just have to install the proxy or the gateway appliance. When you install, you register the same appliance with the cloud and you register the same appliance. The second step is to register it to VC. Once you register it to VC, the cloud connection is established and you can start operating your VCs and inventories from the cloud console.
And the minimum
Doesn't have to be a 8.
No, the minimum requirement is 7.0U3G for VC. ESXi can still remain on 7.0 or 6.7, but vCenter server has to be on 7.0U3 because there are certain bits that enable us to do life cycle of VC that we are doing it right now. So for that, we need it to be 7.0U3. Okay, any more questions, doubt, concerns? Yes.
How we can access from anywhere if we go with the vSphere Plus?
Yeah, because it's a cloud portal, right? So you just need to have access to the cloud portal.
Just to add on to that, there's a trial going on for vSphere Plus, guys. So try it out. If you have VMware accounts, you can go ahead and access.
Yeah, so these are the steps, pretty straightforward. The first step is to download the vCenter Cloud Gateway, register VC and cloud. The second step is to subscribe. Until and unless you subscribe your vCenter server, you'll not be able to use these capabilities. So second step is to subscribe your VC. And third step is to start consuming and utilizing those services.
So what will happen to the current subscription which you have?
So as I said, right, so we are getting away with perpetual licensing. It is only core-based subscription that we will support in future. So we'll slowly migrate. So we'll not say, from now onwards, you can't use perpetual licensing. You can work with our licensing team. They'll get converted credentials into subscription model. And subscription is purely based on core. So the number of cores that you use will get billed. That's all. Irrespective of whatever you are running. Any more questions, comments, doubt, feedback?
Is gateway required to upgrade or update?
Very good question.
It's his question.
Very good question. Gateway is completely managed by VMware. Any upgrade that is happening on gateway, we will take care of it. We'll update the customer that there is a weekly upgrade. It is going to be on these 3 schedules. You can select and opt. Otherwise, 4th week, it's going to be auto upgrade.
So there will be no downtime.